of experiences, costumed adventures, and other creative endeavors. I'm so excited to talk about an event that I am just astounded that I got to attend, and it was called the Crown and Dagger Ball, otherwise known as that time I went to a costume ball at a historical castle on top of a volcano. Or at least it was on the plug of a volcano that last erupted some 340 million years ago. I first heard about this ball on TikTok, and I saw these advertisements with people in these beautiful costumes wandering around Edinburgh, and I was just enchanted by the idea. The castle looked beautiful, and I'd never been to an event in a really historical old building like that. Unfortunately, the tickets were already sold out by the time I'd heard about it, but something like 2 weeks before the event, they held a giveaway where you could enter by saying why you wanted to go to the balls. I was so blessed because I was one of the 5 winners chosen. And I had told myself, if I won, I would find a way to get there. Thank you so much if you are one of the people that helped me get there. I've never been to Europe before, and certainly not Scotland before. It was beautiful. This is honestly one of the best experiences I've ever had. I just loved it. I haven't been able to travel much in my life. It was an absolute dream. Thank you. Thank you. So once I had my ticket, I was admitted to the ticket holders group on Facebook, which was a really great place to connect with other people attending the ball. Some of those who had been on there longer were part of a sewing group where they were talking about sewing their costumes together. Other people were coordinating, different things with each other. And it was just a good place to kind of start to touch base with other people who were going to the ball. Eventually, I made it to Edinburgh, and I checked into my hostel and was just enchanted to find that I could see the castle from the hostel itself. Here's the view from the cafe at the top of the hostel. It was right in Old Town, and it was a really nice place to stay, honestly. I would highly recommend it. It was called the Kick-Ass Grass Market Hotel. But I practically jogged right over because they had, the organizers had put together a meetup to do at the pub the first night to help people who were going to the ball get to know each other. And so this was just the most amazing experience, hopping off the plane, going through these cobbled streets. I had my sparkly cloak on because I just wanted to get immersed into the fantasy fun as soon as I could. I couldn't wait. I wasn't sure if I would be the only person in costume there, but that's never highly bothered me. I'm pretty bold with that type of thing. But I wasn't, because Pinset Tailoring was there, and Queen Estrella was there, and they were both also, in costume or in garb. So it was great. And I got to meet all these people from different countries with similar interests, and the organizers were really great about introducing us to each other, helping people who wanted to go on tours together find each other, people who were going to the ball on the same night find each other, or people from the same country, just kind of introducing us all to each other. And it was so fun. We just talked for about 3 hours or so with everyone. It was a really delightful experience to kind of start to form some friendships and be able to know people by the time that we went to the ball. I could not sleep that night because of jet lag, so I spent the night watching the Stone of Destiny movie because I was really excited to see the Stone of Destiny, which is an important relic to Scotland's history, along with the Honours of Scotland, because they are the oldest crown jewels in Britain, which is one of the things advertised that we would be able to do at this ball. Spoiler alert, I was not able to do that, but we will talk about that later. I spent the day wandering the streets, visiting all sorts of different pubs. I really liked this Frankenstein pub with this mad scientist feeling to it. The Witchery is this really cool restaurant and hotel. They've got beautiful pictures of the room online, but I just kind of peeked in to see the different areas of it there. All these themed shops. There was like a whole wizard themed shop. The Vennel that has these really old walls. I think one of them used to be the edge of Edinburgh. And then the Royal Mile, because this whole city is just this beautiful centerpiece of Edinburgh Castle. And then this road that goes down called the Royal Mile that leads to a palace. And then all of these other really interesting alleyways and streets, and just such a beautiful place. I love it. I already want to go back. It's beautiful. I'd love to do more photography there because I hardly got to do any. Oh, but I still couldn't sleep come sunrise. So I went on this morning walk, and I saw this beautiful wild fox coming down from the castle while I was there. And it was so magical. I loved it so much. It was such a beautiful, quiet, peaceful morning, and it was wonderful. The day of the ball came, and we had another meetup planned, which was to meet at McGonagall's pub. And I had arranged to take some photos with other creators that were going to the ball, but we were all running behind. They were still sewing their costume. I was trying to get my curling iron to work and just trying to get everything together, from the hotel room. So I made it just in time to go to McGonagall's. I really wanted to be a half hour early to the ball, and I wish I had stuck to that goal. But I wanted to walk over with other people from the pub, which was really fun to do. But by the time we got there, we were about 15 minutes after the point that you could check in, but you could check in, anytime. And within the first hour, I think. But, that still gave us plenty of time to see the Honours of Scotland. So we thought. But we waited and waited. It didn't feel like the line was moving at all. So I went up to kind of investigate. And they had, this photographer taking these professional photos in front of the castle, which was gorgeous. It had these huge braziers of flame on either side of the bridge. And it was lit up, and it was just grand. And that feeling of like, I'm about to go to a ball in this castle. Oh, it's so exciting. But the line was not moving. And, we asked, hey, is there any way that we can get through sooner? We're really worried that we're not going to be able to see the jewels. And some people in line weren't too concerned because, they were from Europe and had seen these kind of things frequently. But for me, I've never seen anything like that before. I don't know if I will again. I certainly hope so. I thought it would be really cool to see. And, I'd psyched myself up with the movie, The Stone of Destiny. But it's, by the time we finally got in, and we didn't get the pictures because they stopped doing them, it was a good while later. We ran in, and they had been closed down. They had shut the room. They would not open them up again, the castle security. And they got closed 15 minutes before it was advertised that they would be closed. Which was very frustrating. Like, I just really wanted to see the crown jewels in this really unique environment where it was a private event. You didn't have to wait in line. You didn't have to be rushed to kind of go through as a tourist. It was pretty disappointing, honestly, to miss that. But that was really the only negative of the night for me. And the rest was really good. Going into the castle was really cool because, you're crossing the bridge, and I look over just to the expanse between, that's under the bridge. It's not like filled with water or anything, but it was very classic. And we climbed the steps, and just thinking about, all the royalty and soldiers, like the most besieged place in Britain, and just all of the history there. But we look out over the city and this beautiful expanse of the city lit up at night, and continue through these gorgeous, walkways into the Queen Anne building, which was mostly used as like a barrack for officers and the castle gunners. It could have been a little more aesthetic for me. There was parts of it that were really castle-y, but the main room itself could have had a little more atmosphere. They had canapes being served throughout the night, including a gluten-free option and vegetarian options. They had a string quartet that was playing the beginning of the night while we were being taught Regency dancing by professionals, which was very fun. Perhaps the best part of that was when I actually got to be in Queen Estrella's group, who is just a very kind and genuine person. and she helped me learn to dance along with the other instructors. And she also corrected my curtsy, because there was a curtsy that was part of the dance, and she helped me make sure that I would know how to do it without hurting my knees all night, which was really cool. But if you can just picture like Zach Pinsett teaching you how to do the Olivia walk, and then Queen Estrella, teaching you how to curtsy, it was like the very ultimate historically inspired fantasy finishing school of a night, and I loved it. The night we had a DJ, and even before he was on, he was mingling with the crowd, talking to us and telling us to jump up on stage, grab a mic, and join along if he was playing a song that we liked. And he picked such good music. He also played the electric cello. But there's so many times I go to immersive experiences and the music isn't that immersive. It's just modern stuff that you would hear if you turned on the radio in your car. And I mean, this was still modern music, but it was picked very specifically for our sort of book talk, fantasy talk audience. So, we were playing songs like How to Train Your Dragon theme song and Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. Ooh, let me think. Okay, the song Entangled where they're dancing in the town square? It's a really good song. And it was so fun. Just absolutely, the room was losing it as we were dancing to that song. It's such a jam. And we were all having so much fun. It was just bop after bop. And, they were singing Allay, 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 Lord, and like Queen Estrella was like leading everyone in that, and it just felt like a fantasy rock concert. Oh my gosh, the music was so fun. They had the courtyard that we could go out to cool off and to talk with everyone, and I got to talk with the organizers. They are really cool people. I really appreciate them. I love them so much. I feel like they really put their hearts into this event and really made something special for people. I just think they are great people, and I'm a fan, they made a really great thing happen. So it was fun taking people. They had a professional photographer taking photos of us at the event. There was also a costume contest. Now, I prefer a really well-defined costume contest, and I may have just missed some information on this that I didn't see beforehand, but I wasn't sure what the categories would be until I was there the night of. Mind you, I was getting ready for this a week beforehand, so I wasn't coming with anything special. I still just like to know. But the categories were handmade costume, best couples costume, and most creative. I personally really liked that there was an option both for those who had actually sewn their costume and for those who couldn't. I personally like that both could be honored in the night. I think that was fun. They were all able to win books and crowns, the winners. And so, they're like crowned by Zach Pinsett. What an exciting moment. Can you imagine? My goodness. Wonderful. For me to know if I really loved an event, it's like, did you ever just reach that moment of the surreal, wow, is this happening right now? And I definitely had that with the Crown and Dagger Ball. Just realizing, just looking around the room at everyone having an absolute blast. These people from so many different countries that had come together to be, friends at this event. They were all inviting each other into each other's dance circles, into each other's conversations, being so friendly and generous with their spirits. And being excited for each other and complimenting everyone's costumes, and just that we were here together to celebrate this enjoyment of fantasy in this amazing place, just Edinburgh itself, the castle itself. I lost my breath for a moment and just stood and took that in, just watching everyone enjoy themselves so much. Kind of got emotional that, we just live at a time where these type of things exist. I'm getting emotional again. I just think it's really fun and cool. And that I got to be there, because it was, such a shock and surprise to just be going about life, and then suddenly one day, you realize you're going to Scotland in a week. It was such an adventure. There was this real spirit of, everyone had come either alone or maybe with one or two other people. And I think a lot of people wanted to connect and be able to enjoy friendships with others. And, you know, there was just a lot of that. I loved it. And so that was the Crown and Dagger ball. I really enjoyed the instruction in dancing. I really enjoyed meeting some of the content creators there, and also just people that I was attending the ball with were so delightful. I enjoyed just the venue itself. It was just a really wonderful experience, and I really want to thank the Mystic Events team for putting it together and for being so kind and gracious, and for offering the opportunity to do a giveaway, you know, so that I could go. I had one more day in Scotland. I might do a little mini video about that because I had a sort of stretch goal to be able to go to my ancestral clan's family castle, and I was able to do that. Here's just a short shot of that in case I don't end up making a full video, which was gorgeous. Just another amazing castle and a mausoleum. That ended up being it was really great. Anyway, it was a fantastic night. They have another ball coming up in Essex, and it's going to be a spring court fantasy realm theme, where I think it's like fae creatures type thing. I did hear some details about that I am not allowed to share, but I would definitely say if you are able to make it to that ball, this was a good experience. I really like being able to connect with people in the Facebook group and in meetups, and just the ball itself was glorious. I love meeting together with other fellow nerds, you know? So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I'm working hard on a project this month, and then I've got another big thing coming up in May, so I probably can't make it, but it's in April, and if you can go, I suggest it. I think that one actually does have a few tickets left. Thank you to the sponsor of this video, The Nerdy Wolf, found at Provo Town Center in Provo, Utah. This is a store that sells potion bottles and leather journals and inkwell sets and all sorts of things for your nerdy needs. We actually have an event coming up that we are collaborating on together, which is an RPG themed market the same weekend as the new D&D movie premiere. So if you are local, go ahead and check that out. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I still am just astonished that I got to go, and Edinburgh, the castle, the people, the meetups, the ball itself, it was all wonderful. I loved it. Maybe be early though, just in case something crazy happens like it did with me. Thank you so much to the team. Thank you so much to everyone who befriended me while I was there. It was a wonderful experience. Until next time, keep creating and stay ever adventurous. Bye.